Hi, I'm Master Kuppinger. I'm principal analyst at KuppingerCole Analysts, and I'm here to speak with Sebastian Rohr of Greta Associates, I believe, about his thoughts around sort of future of identity management or digital identity and what he feels most important here. Sebastian, pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Just like last year, it's always an honor. And you're starting right with some very, very important questions, because I strongly believe that the importance of identity as a thing is definitely still rising. After all those years, we see more demand for managing it with zero trust initiatives heading our way in more and more organizations. In the industry itself, within the specialist realm, we definitely see a move away from identity and towards authorization and fine-grained access to resources.
I would disagree.
Yep.
I think that I love the topic of authorization. I love the topic of policy-based agreements. But I think the other theme is identity, the sense of decentralized identity. So there's a huge identity angle here, from my perspective, which is really about a new perspective on identity and a lot of new use cases, a lot of very promising use cases. But I think now we see authorization doing more fine-grained about what policy-based is definitely also a super relevant theme.
I'm totally with you on that. I guess it is a question of the point of view you are taking. When you take the society as a whole, decentralized identity is definitely much more important because it will impact so many more people out there. In contrast to when we talk about the authorization space, well, that's just a tiny fraction of the population.
Yes and no, I would say. I think the interesting point is it comes together. It comes together at the enterprise, because I think decentralized identity enables a very different means of being on-the-base access agreement. And essentially, you have a wallet with proofs around your identity, and you can share them, and I can use them to make a decision based on that. So I think the point is the decentralized identities will help us achieve a very different level, a way higher level of policy-based access approach.
Again, a very, very good point, which is really thought-provoking. And I love that about being at this conference, because it is here where we are actually enabled to exchange those ideas. And yes, you are totally right. Before, we had those different silos of identities where you those internal employees, where you had those external resources that act as internal employees, where you had the customers, where you had the privileged administrators being part of either the internal or external group, but probably not of the customer base. And all of those are distinguished by certain attributes that are also always part of their persona in each of those buckets. And by diverting the management of those attributes back to the individual, it's definitely something where each of these people will have more control about all those aspects of their different personas. They all make up that one identity. And if they are willing to share certain aspects of these personas across these form of boundaries, because they are empowered to actually manage these for themselves, this will, on the other hand, at the resource, provide us with much more ability to adjust the fine-grained access to certain information.
Yeah, so at the end, to sum it up, there are two major things we both see happening around digital identity, which is better to use more granular identities and also for decentralized identity.
Absolutely.
And policy-based access for way more fine-grained authorization. So things are really close together. And yes, I'm looking forward to that world. I think how the policy-based are, I believe we also need to think about a multi-speed organization, because some things are equal, so like OPA, Open Policy Agent, or filling into services ever. Bringing policies to legacy applications which still rely on static entitlements and standing growth are just difficult, but there are solutions. And we need to have a broader concept on how do we deal with governance, with policies overall, to make it work in different speeds, but heading in the same direction.
This is also, again, a very, very valid point. Take a look at one of those large German automotive manufacturers who said, yeah, we are going a by-track approach. We will keep our old school waterfall IT, but we will also establish an agile IT in parallel to that. Nobody wanted to stay in that old school IT. Everybody wanted to go into that agile world. You can't drop all of that legacy at once. We see that in the moment with all of those late adopters, especially here in Germany and Europe, moving to the cloud now. They have to refactor all their NTLM, Kerberos-based applications, and while doing so, they should better think about those new models of managing and authorizing access to those. The old policy-based approach is still valid, but its relevance will definitely go down, and we will definitely have a mix and mash of those two, where everything that's being developed agile necessarily needs to adopt a more rebug and an policy-based model, while the older governance approaches of maintaining roles are still valid, but will go down.
Yeah. Sebastian, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Pleasure, thank you.
Thanks so much.